Hey everybody, if you want to avoid one of the biggest leadership and just relationship pitfalls in your life, I've got an incredible tactic question for you that I'm going to share with you. And here's how this works basically. This week, spent a lot of time with different leaders in different organizations, very different types of organizations, fascinating what people are doing and how they're using their gifts and abilities. And what amazes me is that we don't often know how people receive us. People judge us on our actions, not our intentions, and the way that we behave doesn't always communicate our intentions. So let me explain this. Several leaders who worked this week had people who left their team or shared some really kind of critical feedback of them that they just didn't know. They didn't know that's how it was, what it felt like to work with them. They didn't know that that's how they came across to that type of person. They didn't know that their extrovert would restrain somebody else's introvert in a certain way, or that their confidence would affect somebody else's lack of confidence and even kind of make that thing worse in a team or a meeting or a conversation. And this is true in every relationship in your life and my life. And we have this great question that really helps alleviate that. And the question very simply is, what is it like to work with me? Or what is it like to be in a relationship with me? Or what is it like to be my best friend? And that's an incredible question, because what we don't realize is how deeply it affects our relationships and our teams and our work environments, the way that we behave that we're not even aware we're doing. I'll tell you this, my daughter and I were talking last night after this had come up this week, and I usually do this where something comes up 3 or 4 times in a week, then I try to make one of these videos, because I just take that as some prompting that is revealing something that needs to be shared. My daughter was saying that she was dancing last night. She's on a competition team. She's 14, has some really great friends at this dance studio. And her best friend was standing there, and one of the teachers said, "You all right, Michaela?" You know, and she said, "What do you mean?" She said, "Well, you're shaking your hands like this. Every time you get done with your thing, you kind of do this." And her best friend says, "Oh, she does it all the time." And my daughter said, "What?" And she said, "Oh yeah, you always do that." She said, "What do you mean I always do that?" She said, "Every time you come off the stage, every time you try to do something that's hard or you get a little frustrated or don't do it well, then you come off and you just shake your hands like that." And my daughter said, "I do?" And she said, "Yeah." She said, "You're doing it right now." And she looked down and she was doing it right then, probably because the conversation stressed her out a little bit. But even greater than that, this is something she didn't know about herself, that a bunch of people around her knew, but she had no idea. Worse than that are ways that we respond out of emotion, ways that we might accidentally set somebody off, ways that we might shut somebody down in a conversation or a meeting or a certain type of employee or direct report that we don't even know that we're doing. And the issue is there's always this gap between us and other people, our knowledge of ourselves and what other people see in us. And if we don't close that, it will make our lives and our teams and our work harder and harder. And our desire is that you would learn how to be the kind of leader that everybody wants to follow, and your team would do incredible things together. So this is the simple process we prescribed several times this week, and it's built off of something that I actually went through a number of years ago, where I realized that I didn't understand how people received me, and it was kind of a tough work time. And so I literally just picked 6 people in my office and said, "Hey, I'd like to schedule a meeting with you about a week from now." So I gave people some time to think about this. And I really want you just to answer the question, what is it like to work with me? What do you see that I don't see? What is it that maybe I'm missing? What could I do better to help you by the way that we interact or the way that we communicate? And then we sat down together, and I just had a pen and an open piece of paper. That was it. What is it like to work with me? And took incredible notes. And I learned all kinds of things about my facial expressions in meetings, about how I might respond when I'm tired or stressed, or how I might respond when somebody stopped by and interrupted me. I didn't realize that because I'm so focused on what I'm doing, laser focused, when people would come by, I knew that I might be a little short, but they kind of got a different message that was even harsher than I intended it to be. There were some positive things that I didn't know either. So find some people you trust. If you want great relationships and great work relationships, sit down with a few of those people and just ask them, what is it like to work with me? What is it like to be married to me? What is it like to be my friend or even my neighbor? And just take really great notes. And I guarantee you, if you can create a really safe place for people to share, you'll learn a lot about yourself that will monumentally affect your life. Simple tip, if you want other ideas like this, or if you have a team that you're like, man, we'd like to raise that dialogue and create the kind of environment where more people can have those kind of conversations and we can just be really honest and candid with one another and kind of root out some of this stuff that gets in the way that nobody knows about. We have some processes to do that very specifically that we really enjoy and enjoy getting to know your team. So shoot me a message. You can go to our website, www.inceptus.com, goinceptus.com, sorry, goinceptus.com, and or message me, whatever social media thing that we're on together, and I'd love to talk to you about how we can help you increase your productivity or your relationships so you can do better work all together. Thank you guys.